Hey guys, Miata Man here. Today we're going to talk about how to replace your Miata battery on your 1990 to 1997 Mazda Miata, Eunos, or MX-5. So let's begin. What we're going to use first is a 10mm socket on a ratchet, or you can use a 10mm wrench like this. Now, the stock terminal sizes on here have a 10mm nut. If they've been replaced, they may have a 12 or a 13mm nut on them. So just something to consider when you're getting your tools ready. And first thing we're going to do is remove this cover right here. And there's your battery. And then I'm going to go in here and remove this cover. Like that. And I'll bring this in close. You can see that little tab there goes onto the end of one of the bolts for the tail lights, and then if you have one of these still, that's what holds it on after the fact. So, and then you've got these snaps on the bottom here that snap it to the trunk carpet. So I'll put that up out of the way. The next thing we want to do is we want to disconnect the positive terminal. And we're going to take our 10mm ratchet and we'll loosen off the nut that clamps it down, pull it off, and then on the new battery it'll come with terminal protectors like this. And the first thing we want to do is take the positive terminal protector off the new battery and put it over the terminal of the old battery. Well, what that'll stop from happening is when we take the bracket off the top, the hold down bracket, without this on, there's a high likelihood that we may bump it up against the positive terminal. And if we do, there'll be a lot of sparks and it won't be very pleasant. So we put that on there to avoid that. So I'm just undoing the wing nut now on the rod that holds the battery hold down bracket in place. There it is. Next, we'll take the washer off the top. And the rod itself. Now we can safely move this bracket out of the way. You can see how close it comes to touching that positive terminal when we're trying to remove it. That's what it looks like. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, we can grab the battery and pull it forwards. We're able to do that now that we've got this one undone. And now we've got easy access to the negative terminal. So we can undo that one. Just lift that off. And there you are. That's how you get the battery out. So I'm going to put the battery down on the ground. Grab a replacement battery. This one is slightly different, as you may have noticed. It's not as tall as the other ones. It's a little shorter. They do come in sort of both sizes, but the footprint of them is exactly the same. So the one that just came out would be a 51 RPS battery, where this one has a different part number. This one's more of the original battery that was in it. So we're gonna get that one in. First thing you need to do, connect up your negative terminal. Make sure that it's on all the way. Make sure it's pushed down as far as it'll go. Very important that you get this tight. If the negative terminal is loose, you'll have all sorts of problems. The battery will run flat. You could have problems with electronics not working properly. So your negative terminal needs to be very, very tight so it doesn't come apart. Now this one also has the vents on it, which the other one didn't have. That's just in case you have any acid coming out of the battery sloshes around, it gets warm, it vents, and a little bit of acid can come out. And that's why this one has the tube, and that tube connects right here. There's a little vent to the outside of the car, so that just goes right on the end. like so. And then that battery can breathe. So next, we need to put the bracket back on, and what we do is we go in from the side, like so. That's the easy way to do it. And you select the hole that lines up with the height of the battery, which is the second one up from the bottom on this one. Then take your rod and slide it through, and then hook it into the hole on the bracket that's on the body down here. And once you've got that on, slide your washer. Your washer may look different than this. It may just be a flat washer made of metal. This is the rubber one that came with the hold down kit. Slide that on there like that. And then you put your wing nut back on the top and spin it on. Like that. You want to make it firm so that the battery can't move around too much. Yeah. There we are. So now once that's on, take your terminal protector off, slide the cover back, and then put this on. So that's the positive terminal that we've just reconnected, and we're going to tighten up that 10mm bolt. Again, being very careful not to touch. While this is connected to this, we don't want to touch it to anything else. We want to stay low down here, like that. That way we're staying away from anything that could, you know, transfer power from the battery into the body of the car. There we are, like that. Always be sure to put that back on afterwards. Then reattach your battery cover. Start by doing up the snaps right here. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. That's better. Actually 2 sets of them on this car. There we are. Put that back onto the stud for the tail light, then put your retainer back on it, and you're all done. You've just installed a new battery in your Miata. Next, what I want to show you is, I'm going to bring you over here for a minute, and I'm going to show you a couple of examples of different batteries that are available. So what we have here is the one that came out of the car. That's an AC Delco. That is I'll show you the label on the top. It's a 51 RPS. The R stands for reversed terminals. And what that means is that the positive is on this side rather than on this side. And that's where it needs to be for the Miata. So you need a 51 RPS if you're doing a battery of that type. This is an older style Mazda battery from the dealership. And as you can tell, that one's from 2012, so it's dead. It's not going to have any life left in it now. I've tried charging it, it's non-responsive. And you can see that the size difference between that and the AC Delco is substantial. And also this will have more cranking amps. The only downside is this one is sealed and will not vent into the car and leak into the car at all. This one has the ability and the potential to let a little bit of acid in to the car. Now, thirdly, we have this one from Interstate. And it's an MT MX5 with 370 cold cranking amps, 465 regular cranking amps. And as you can tell, that's quite a small one too. That's about the same size as that Mazda one we just looked at. This one does have the ability to attach the vent tubes to it. And so this one can actually vent to the outside. It's okay to use this lead cell or this wet cell lead acid battery. Just keep an eye on it to make sure that you aren't getting any leakage into the car. It's good car maintenance to always have a look at everything, you know, once a month, just to make sure everything's good. So there you are. Any questions, please post them in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll make more videos soon.